I have a friend with a problem with the bed spacing on her Passap machines. This is not unique to her, so we're going to take this opportunity to make a video for anybody who might be having that issue.
The manual talks about 2 gauges that you should have. This is a standard wedge. It's available at Lowe's and might even be Walmart. It's just a standard tapered wedge that's used for setting doors. And here's what I did. I took my millimeter scale and I marked 4.85 there, and I marked 3.4 there.
And where on earth did you get those numbers?
Well, that's in the manual. It tells you that the 3.4 is a minimum and that the 5 is a maximum. So you can see that I broke that wedge off right there right at 5 millimeters. 5.15 is too wide. So all we're going to do is move this down through here and make sure that it fits between this red mark and this red mark is our tolerance.
So the beds should be distant from one another.
Right.
By one of the measurements along there, and they are actually slightly graduated.
Right. It tells you that wedge number 9.49A is 4.85 millimeters. That's that line right there. And the minimum is 3.4 millimeters, which is right there.
Actually, though, it tells you that you should have measuring devices or feeler gauges that measure those amounts, and most of us don't.
Right, and that's why we just got a standard door wedge.
So that's what we're doing. We created a substitute to do the job.
And now what we're going to do is sit it down in here and see that it slides all the way across.
So mine is adjusted towards the wider part of the tolerable measurement. And that works for me.
Yes, it has to be less than 5.15. And I broke this wedge right at 5 millimeters. So that distance right there is 5 millimeters. And again, right there, 5 millimeters across there.
Something else to take note of. I know you're looking at a pinky, and if you have a greenie, you're wondering if that's going to work for you. This is a greenie lock. And interestingly enough, when I bought the greenie sets, I knew that they would run on pinky beds from other experienced Passap knitters, and they were correct. However, we did need to change the spacing on the beds.
Yes.
My pinky was set up to be narrower, and the modern black strippers that come with the greenie locks, or I was fortunate enough to get some anyway, they will get stuck at the measurements that my pinky beds originally sat.
That's right. The pinky beds are down at that 3.4 millimeter width. And that's just very, very narrow. You can actually do that with 2 credit cards. Stick them together and they should fit in there. But see, that's a big difference between the mark right there, where my fingernail is right there. Big difference between there and the 4.85.
So I would suggest that depending on the specifics of your machine, and they've all got long histories by now, you might need anywhere within that range.
Yes.
But both ends should be equidistant. And the trouble my friend has run into is that on the right-hand end, we're on the left-hand end now, hers knits pretty well, and towards the middle it's not bad, but it's too narrow over here, which has caused her locks to get stuck, and her stripper came out and got wedged. So we're going to show how to adjust
And let's
for that.
look at this for a second. Let's get this stripper out and look at the distance we're talking about with the thickness that we've marked. But you can see the thickness of the stripper compared to this wedge that we made.
You can see that with my stripper, it's taking nearly the entire space we created.
That's right. That's right. They say 5.15 millimeters is the maximum distance. And I bet if I got my micrometer out and measured this, according to what I did, is just under 5 millimeters. So that's what happened is you come across here, and if the gap changes to a narrower
First of all,
distance,
it doesn't ride that low. So mine rides really well and does its job really well. but literally a part of a millimeter smaller
Yes.
would be too tight, and that's probably what happened to my friend. Another thing to take note of, the instructions that we have were written for E6000s. We originally had a brown and ancient copy that actually came with this machine and was translated straight from German and was nearly illegible. Thank goodness I have Jack, because he did figure it out. It turns out, though, that reading the E6000 instructions does give you enough information to go with.
Yes, it does.
So now you're going to show people how to get to this point if their beds are not spaced correctly?
Yes, let's get that sled off and then we'll start.
Some European machines, the name for lock, which Passaps use, or carriage, which we are usually used to in the U.S., some of them translate to sled.
They tell you to get your racking lever in the upright position. Now I'm going to try and pull it out.
Mine is actually needing your attention.
Yes, it's very stiff.
It's not working right.
Look at this wedged area on the rod. Because they tell you that it's possible you may have to adjust the back bed by moving this assembly. And what they tell you is where that swedge is, there's a notch right there where my finger is. And they tell you to hold that with a screwdriver, flat tip screwdriver, and I'll put my thumb there.
A sizable one, I would think.
Yes. I put my thumb in there so that you can move this part of the assembly without moving this racking rod. Well, we're going to stick this back in, but they tell you to start with the racking lever at the top. And look right here, the racking lever is moving the distance between these two bed ends. That's what it does. And you can feel when you get to the top that it's kind of a release area right there.
Of course, mine doesn't feel right at all at the moment. I can barely get it to work.
I know, it needs lubrication. All right, right here is a pin. See that silver end?
Mm-hmm.
There's one there. There's one down here.
Mm-hmm.
There's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4 for each bed. And what they tell you is drive the pins out. And what you want to do is drive them from the inside to the outside.
So you're going to have to get in an even more difficult position than we already are. We have this machine propped up on Jack's legs.
Yeah, but we're not going to take these pins out. You do have to do it for the adjustment. You come under the bottom where my little pinky finger is, get a standard punch, look at the diameter of the pin. You want to punch slightly smaller. And if you notice there's a little dimple right in the middle of the pin, that might be from me using a nail as a punch.
Or somebody.
Somebody.
This is a 60-some-year-old machine. It's my little sister.
Right. But you can punch it from this side in, or you can punch it from that side out. But what it tells you is if you have to make these adjustments here and here, these are the B's, that's B on the diagram. If you have to loosen these screws in order to adjust the distance between the beds, you have to knock these pins out. And if you'll notice there's no pin in this hole and there's no pin in that hole, and I will take a pin and I will show you, that's because you would have to drill that second plate out. This is one plate, there's an inside plate. So there's an outside plate, inside plate, and the pin goes between them. And the reason there's only 1, 2, 3, 4 pins is because we did make an adjustment on this machine. So in order to drive this pin and this pin back in, I'd have to drill it out with a twist drill and drive the pins in. It isn't absolutely necessary.
Obviously not, because I'll tell you, this was a pain in the neck. I remember doing it, and some uncouth things were said at times.
That's right.
However, it has stayed and worked for 30 years thereafter.
Words a lady wouldn't use.
But I didn't exactly use them.
No. But if you'll notice, this is a slotted head, 8mm hex head screw. I suggest that you back it off, they say with a fork spanner, which is what we call an open-end wrench. But use a box-end wrench or a socket. that fits these screws, and they tell you to start with the front bed and make the adjustment on the front bed, because that will not affect this racking lever. Notice that the racking lever...
No, actually backwards. The racking lever does not affect the front bed.
No, adjusting the front bed doesn't require adjusting the racking lever.
Oh, I see.
Adjusting the back bed does require, because you see it's hooked to the back bed. You have to readjust this if you move the back bed. My suggestion is stay right here. There's 2 of these on this end and there's 2 on the other end. And they tell you once the pins are out, you can loosen these 2 nuts on this end and the 2 nuts on the other end. And that's where you would take a flat tip screwdriver and just barely snug them so that you could bump this and get it to slide. But that's what you're basically going to do.
And once everything is locked back down and the pin's driven back in, it's good for 30 years.
At least. But that is how you make the adjustment. I suggest you stick with the front bed, leave the back bed alone, because this one will slide 3 to 4 millimeters in either direction.
And that's more than enough.
Way more than enough. The
The
wider...
only thing I can imagine is if one has been stored a long time and then shipped a distance, I suppose the beds could have moved from where somebody had them in knittable position.
Yes, I can see that. And the thing is that, let's be completely honest, things loosen up. They don't tighten up.
You mean by nature,
Right.
over time?
If you move the machine around, especially if you put it in a vehicle and drive it somewhere, vibration backs these things off. It does not tighten them up. And you will notice that there is a lock washer underneath here.
Was this an addition of yours?
I don't know if I did it or somebody else is as smart as me, but those lock washers, these are called wobble washers, and when they're hot, they literally bend them a little bit so that they're not flat. And then when you tighten them down, it flattens them out.
They stay put so well.
Right.
Yeah.
It does not let anything back off.
So look for it to be a bother. It takes significant strength and fine adjustment. But if you lock it all down when you're satisfied, you're good to go for a long time.
That's right. You make your adjustment. You use your flat tip screwdriver with a wide blade to snug them. You check it all down through there. You snug both ends. Then you come back with your hex socket and you tighten them down.
Do you have to check both ends and do the same?
It depends. Let's go back and look at that. We'll start right here. Here's my 5 millimeter wedge. All right. If it'll go all the way down through here and drop to the same depth.
I'm pretty sure it will, because this one's been knitting
Right.
okay.
But you see what I'm saying? As long as it'll do that, you're good to go.